Hello. Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. First of all, I just want to acknowledge you. I'd like you to have the same view I have. So I want you to just turn around and look. If you're in the front, turn around and just look at all the women here. Look at each other. Okay? What a beautiful group of women I see here. One of the things I see is dedication. And that's because it's a Saturday and it's summertime and you're inside in this room. And this is what you're dedicated to learning about yourselves, because that's what empowerment is. And how many of you here are interested in being fully in your power? So I so enjoyed Leslie's opening talk. I believe the universe is holographic, and I really feel that my talk is almost like a microcosm of her talk. In fact, I was going to begin my talk with the exact same quote that she used, which I'll just quote again. In 2009, the Dalai Lama said that it is the future of the world will be saved on the shoulders of the Western woman. And you're here because we are a part of that tribe. And so I want to just state a couple statistics. In the past 25 years, the number of businesses owned by women has increased 10 times. This is double the rate of the number of businesses that men own. In fact, women are now in charge of $3.6 trillion in the economy. And 51% of the wealth, the private wealth in the United States, is owned by women. That's incredible. And just like Leslie said, let's look at history. In 1930, in 26 states in the United States, if you were married, it was illegal to hold a job. That's shocking. 1930. You couldn't own property, and you could not have a bank account if you're a woman. That's how far we've come. Isn't that incredible? Let's just applaud each other. That's amazing. Now here's the big lesson of the next half hour. If we do this the masculine way, you're going to be overwhelmed, exhausted, irritable, fatigued. Your husband will probably divorce you because you won't have any libido left. You won't feel sexy. You won't be this interesting, sparkly, juicy woman he once fell in love with. Then you're going to be overweight, exhausted, trying to find another mate or another beloved, unable to attract. And this is kind of like the downward spiral of the woman in the masculine model. And why is that? Because competition for a man will raise his testosterone. Think about football and all those sports. That for a man, that's like, For a woman, it is depletion. So one of the things I want you to take home from today is that tomorrow, I want you to rest. I want you to take all the business cards and the networking and everything you learned from today and look at it on Monday. But you must have a day of rest. I knew, because I was going to speak today, I took Thursday off and I went to a spa. And I got a massage and I laid in the hot springs and I totally relaxed. I did not check my computer. I did not check my phone. I turned it off because I commit to a day of rest every week, completely off. This is one of the most important things. As a woman, we have to live our lives in balance because 50% masculine, 50% feminine. And that's how our hormones work. So today, you're in the right place if you want to learn about sex hormones. That's estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. How many here are actually on bioidentical hormones? Okay, so probably maybe a fourth of us. I actually was on more bioidentical hormones about 4 or 5 years ago, and now I'm on way less. I'm only on one DHEA. But I was on a little bit of progesterone, a little bit of testosterone, a little bit of estrogen, and I'll go into that story later. So we're going to learn about that. We're going to learn about your thyroid. How many of you know about the thyroid? You know, your thyroid's in charge of your metabolism. It keeps you skinny. It keeps you out of brain fog. It keeps the water weight off. It keeps your bowel movements regular. It gives you strong nails, strong hair. And we're also going to learn about the adrenal glands, adrenal hormones. That's a lot to cover in half an hour. Less than half an hour. But I want you to just take a few moments, and I want you to close your eyes. Like everybody, close your eyes. And if you've got your legs crossed, uncross them, put your feet on the ground, and make contact with Mother Earth. And I want you to imagine that you could open up your feet. And I want you to start breathing through your feet and really connecting down. I want you to breathe in Earth's energy into every single bone in your foot, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, and then drop an anchor down, deep, 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 deep into the earth. And with that, I want you to drop everything that has created any stress or tension in your life in this past week, in this past month, and everything in the future that you're concerned about. I just want you to let it go. Let it drop into the earth. Just drop it. Drop it right now. Good. And just continue to breathe in earth energy into your bones. This is the energy of progesterone. Progesterone builds your bones. It helps you relax. It helps you sleep at night. It helps you feel calm. It slows your mind. And it also helps prevent breast cancer. Now, I want you to shift your focus. You're going to imagine a golden ball. That golden ball is 10 feet in diameter. And I want you to put in that ball the color that is your highest frequency of joy. Highest frequency of joy. Put it in that golden ball. Now I want you to put in that golden ball your highest frequency of prosperity. A color for prosperity. And if color doesn't work for you, doesn't matter. Use some other symbol. It could just be a picture of you, what you would look like. Put that in the ball. Now I want you to imagine your highest frequency of health. Put that in the ball. And your highest frequency of creativity, and put that in that golden ball. I want you to take that golden ball and break it up into 100 golden balls, and then 1,000 golden balls. And I want you to put them above your head, and they are coming down from the top of your head, into your body, coming down. Your highest frequency of joy, highest frequency of prosperity, highest frequency of health, highest frequency of creativity. Let all those balls come into your being, and I want you to own all of those qualities, 100%. Whatever part of you, ask what percent of you owns those. And if it's 60%, and whatever 40% says, I can't do this, I'm not capable of this, I'm scared, I don't have the ability, I want you to just drop that. Okay? Now I want you to slowly open your eyes and just turn. So that quality, by the way, before we do the next exercise, is estrogen. Estrogen is lubrication. It gives glow to your skin. It gives glow to your eyes. It's moisture. It's vaginal moisture. It gives a lift. It gives a sense of pride and womanness. And now I want you to turn to your neighbor and just say your name, and just say to each other, even though you know nothing about that person, or you may know them well, you may not know them well at all, but I just want you to say, I believe in you. Say your name, and I believe in you. Okay, thank you. So that's an example of testosterone. Okay, so testosterone for women is collaboration and connection. And testosterone gives the feelings of, it increases your libido. That's how we commonly think of it, but it also increases your drive, your focus, your ambition. But for women, what does that is this. I mean, exactly what Dr. Hewitt has created. This, this connection, this multitude of booths out there. When I came walking in, there was this awesome music. It was like, oh, I wish I could just dance on stage. I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, I could just feel it immediately. So this is testosterone for women, and this is what you need in order to succeed. Now, I want you to just realize that from this moment forward, everything you do, every decision you make, from the thoughts, your speech, your connection, the food that you eat, your decisions, is all going to help bring you towards owning your joy, your prosperity, your health, or away from it. And I really believe that in this room and out there and in that other room, that we have enough resources to help each other have 100% of what you want. I really believe that. I mean, there are so many gifted people here, and the dedication that it takes to show up on a Saturday and do this in the middle of the summer. You know, I think there's enough, you know, health experts, myself, there's Christine Roche who's speaking right after me, to help you with your health. There's aromatherapy, there's energy healers. There's enough here. And then there's, you know, we need accountants. We need, you know, there is enough here to give you the support. And I bet you if there's something that you're looking for, that you can talk to somebody and get that support that you need. So now, I'd like to tell you a little story. And then the story is about how I got interested in this kind of health. And I was practicing family medicine for 8 years in Ohio. I was commuting 2 hours a day. I loved what I did. I actually used mostly natural herbs. I looked at heavy metal toxins. I helped people with their diets. And I had a, you know, you always have like those hallmark years when, you know, bad things happen in threes. So I had 3 people die in my life. My best friend from high school, who was 33, and she died of bladder cancer. And bladder cancer is caused by toxins. And I never wanted to go to one of those environmental medicine conferences and then be paranoid about the type of paint and carpet and all of that around me, but I had to. Because there's no reason she should have died. She used to run 8 miles a day. She did home cooking. She was in the most loving relationship with all of my friends. There was no reason for her to die except for toxins. I opened up the book Living Downstream by Rachel Carson, learned all about environmental toxins, which do affect our hormones. So it's not enough nowadays to just eat your vegetables and fruits, be in a loving relationship, and exercise. That's not enough. You know, we are living in a soup of Wi-Fi, smart meters, pesticides. They've even found chemicals in polar bears now. The DDT that we sold to Africa 50 years ago, when we outlawed it here, they use it on Africa to spray against mosquitoes. That has been found in breast tumors in a study that Mary Wolf did. She was a biochemist in 1993, and she looked at 14,000 women in New York City at a mammography clinic, and she found that there was a 35% increase of DDE, the breakdown product of DDT in breast tumors. So if there's one other thing you're going to learn when you leave here is please, you know, take a multivitamin, get a naturopath, get an integrative doctor on your side. This is true preventive medicine. This is what you need nowadays. The other thing that happened is my nurse died, my favorite nurse and dearest friend, and then last but not least, my boyfriend was killed. And I saw it a week before it happened. So I saw the face of the drunk driver that hit him. It was a Sunday afternoon. I saw a woman that was also killed in the car accident. I don't know who she was. I saw her face. And I called him a week before it happened. I had this kind of like that final conversation. He said, "Why are you talking to me like this?" And I said, "I don't know why." And I was hit by grief. I cried for 2 hours on a Friday night. I didn't know why. It was like, what's happening to me? And 4 hours after he was killed, his spirit came to me. I was sleeping, and I heard, he used to wear cowboy boots. I used to call him Cowboy Angel. I heard his cowboy boots on the floor, and I saw his silhouette. And I said, "Bob, I'm okay. I'm okay." And he came down into me, and I could feel him like a pressure coming into my body, and he came into my heart, and it felt like my heart reached infinity. And I felt like my heart was going to just burst, and I was like feeling total infinity on all sides, and I felt like he gave me a taste of heaven. And it was after that, and he kept coming to me, by the way, for 3 weeks after that, his spirit would come to me. But it was after that, that for some people, it's a cancer diagnosis. For others, it's a motor vehicle accident. For others, it's a divorce that you didn't see was going to happen. For others, it's bankruptcy. But it's that moment in life where all of a sudden, everything stops and you go, what's important? You know, and life is precious, and there's only one life right now. There's only one life, and this is it. And I looked at my life, and it was okay. It was okay. I was a doctor. I was doing what I liked. I was in a relationship that was kind of okay. He was a good guy, and I lived in a private gated community with a couple kayaks and a lake. But it wasn't, it wasn't a spectacular life. It wasn't like the life of my dreams. And in 6 months from his death, I ended up living on the cliffs of Muir Beach, listening to the ocean at night, hawks flying around me. I love nature, jogging in Muir Woods, and having the kind of like the dream job that I wanted. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because I listen to this small voice inside. So the advantage that women have over men, because we don't have that competition, drive thing, or if we try to do that, we're going to exhaust ourselves. But the advantage we have is women's intuition. And the only way you're going to get in touch with your women's intuition is to have a balanced life with nurturance, with, like Leslie said, safety, with time to listen to yourself and go inward. And what happened is, the day before I was going to fly back to Ohio, I thought, wow, if I want to live here, I better look for a job. And I heard this voice that said, go check out this medical clinic. And I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. I can't go there. I don't have a business suit on. I don't have an appointment. I don't even have my bio with me. And I listened. And I went to the medical clinic, and I introduced myself to the doctor there. And she said, oh, do you have a minute? A minute became 4 hours. And she was about to hire another doctor who never showed up. And then I went to my dream house, and there were 17 people on the waiting list for this house in Muir Beach. And my fiance at the time said, oh, that's ridiculous. We don't have an appointment to see the house. It's pouring rain. And I said, no, let's go. And we went, and the guy who owned the house pulled up at the same time in a pickup truck, and he liked us, and he said, you know what, there's 17 people in front of you, but I'm going to give the house to you. So that is how powerful following your intuition is. That's how powerful it is. So, okay, now I'm going to tell you about hormones. And I have one other thing to say about that story, and that is that when I moved, and I'm going to ask for like a few minutes after 11:30 because we started late. But when I moved, I couldn't concentrate or focus very well, and I was crying a lot. And I went to therapy, and I went to yoga, and I was not balanced. And I finally did what I should have done for myself a long time ago. I measured my brain chemistry, my neurotransmitters, and my serotonin was low. And then I realized I need to take an herb to help my serotonin, and then all that busyness went away. So basically, your hormones start to drop at the age of 35. The first thing that drops is your estrogen, and that can cause hot flashes, vaginal dryness, it can cause racing thoughts, heart palpitations, migraines, headaches, especially around the time of your period. Then your progesterone drops, which causes difficulty sleeping, difficulty relaxing. It can cause cystic breasts, PMS. Then your testosterone slowly drops, which is lack of libido, lack of drive and focus. Your DHEA starts to drop, which is the precursor to the sex hormones. Now, bioidentical hormones are plant-derived, and hormones got a bad reputation in 2002 by a study called the Women's Health Initiative that was published in JAMA. And according to that study, it was on 16,000 women, and it was stopped at just after 5 years. There was an increased risk of blood clot, causing pulmonary embolism, stroke, and breast cancer. It translated to treating 10,000 women for 1 year on estrogen and progesterone would increase the number of strokes by 8, the number of breast cancer cases by 8, and the number of pulmonary embolisms by 8. So that's not a lot. But nevertheless, hormones got a really bad reputation, and doctors stopped prescribing them, and then women got afraid of hormones. What you need to understand is that it was the synthetic progesterone part of that study that caused those problems. That they've done studies on up to 50,000 women now on natural estrogen and natural progesterone that show a diminished rate of breast cancer, a diminished rate of blood clots, and a diminished rate of heart disease. So that's the bottom line about bioidentical hormones, is they're created to be identical to your body, and they're plant-derived. They're usually given in cream form, and that they are not the same as the hormones that was used in the study that gave hormones a bad reputation. Now, secondly, ideally we shouldn't need hormones. You know, our grandparents didn't use them, our great-grandparents didn't use them, so how does that work? Well, the adrenal glands normally make your sex hormones. So your adrenal glands are these small triangular glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they are made up of two parts. The medulla, or the inside of the adrenal gland, produces DHEA, which I've mentioned before, which helps with memory, it helps the immune system. In fact, in mice, they've shown that when you give them DHEA, they don't develop cancer when you give them other things that would induce a cancer. And then there's norepinephrine and epinephrine. And you know, why is Starbucks our best friend? Because 1 cup of Starbucks coffee will increase your norepinephrine and epinephrine 5 times. So what norepinephrine and epinephrine do is they give you focus and drive. Other things that do that naturally are aerobic exercise, intense aerobic exercise. I'm not talking walking the dog here. You know, this is like huffing and puffing. You'd rather not talk, but you can if you have to, which is 80% of your maximum heart rate. And you can calculate that by taking 220 minus your age times 80%, and that's the heart rate you want to maintain for at least 20 minutes, 5 times a week if you can. That's a natural way to not be drinking your Starbucks. The thing that the adrenal cortex makes on the outside is cortisol and your mineral corticoids. Your mineral corticoids help your body retain salt. So if you have salt cravings, that's one of the signs that your adrenals are fatigued. If you're constantly craving salt. And salt is actually a good thing. I encourage people to salt their food liberally. The whole bad reputation that salt got with hypertension is related to a small group of African American people. It's a small subsection of people. So in general, salt gives you the minerals you need, which we really need now with Wi-Fi and EMFs. We really need our minerals and our proper cell voltage to operate. And I recommend colored salt. Gray, French Atlantic gray salt, Himalayan pink salt is awesome, and it tastes so much better. So forget the white, even that white refined sea salt isn't really that good. So try to get European salts or the Himalayan pink salt. The other thing is cortisol. So Leslie touched upon cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, and it was designed in the past to help us run from tigers and lions. That's what it was designed for. But now we have this ongoing stress. We have Facebook. I hate Facebook. We have emails. We have traffic. We have like the ongoing onslaught of information. Oh my God, information overload. You know what information does? Information hits us, and our mental analyzer gets you completely out of your wisdom space. That's what information does. So you have to take information in like little bites and then take a break. Take a break from it. So, or make it fun, or make it sexy. You have to do something with information. What happens is when your cortisol is elevated for a long time, your adrenals start to get fatigued. And in integrative medicine, we call that adrenal insufficiency. Your regular doctor would look at your lab work and say, there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe you should go on Prozac or Zoloft, okay? But there's a lot wrong with you. If you don't wake up refreshed, if you need salt, if you need sugar to lift yourself, if you need that caffeine, if you feel like napping after you eat, if you get snappy, if you get irritable. Because what happens is when cortisol is high, it actually impedes in serotonin. Now, serotonin's your happy mood hormone. It's what all those medications that psychiatrists use are used to raise. Serotonin, and we think of serotonin You need serotonin to not be depressed or anxious. But serotonin also helps stop you from having repetitive thinking. Like, I can't get this out of my mind. I have to get up in the middle of the night and write down my to-do list. You know, serotonin helps with feeling calm and balanced. Some of the things that naturally raise serotonin, they've actually studied this. Looking at an open horizon raises serotonin, like an ocean, or sex raises serotonin. Certain smells for women, connecting raises serotonin. Intimacy raises serotonin. So what happens is when your cortisol is high, it downregulates the number of serotonin receptors. It blocks the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin, and it also blocks your thyroid. So then you gain weight. Now, what's another really important thing? I've talked about exercise and dietary things. All of these hormones need minerals. They need zinc. They need magnesium. They need selenium. They need vitamin A. They need vitamin D. You know, you need the sunshine to actually make serotonin. You need vitamin D to make thyroid hormone. 90% of the U.S. population is low in vitamin D. If that's one vitamin you're going to take when you live here, I'd say vitamin D, and a lot. I'd say 4,000 units a day. Most multivitamins have like 200 milligrams in them. But we're protecting our skin with SPF, so we're blocking all the vitamin D. So minerals are depleted in our soil now. So our vegetables don't have the zinc and selenium that we need. So you want to eat organic. So these are all some things that are crucial for your health. And I just want to say that I will be standing in the back by the doorway to capture emails if you're interested in learning more. I give lectures around the area. And last but not least, the most important thing that you have to dedicate for your future is your health. If you don't have your health, you can't get up and do these things. So I hope that you've enjoyed today, and I hope you continue to network and collaborate and get the support that you need. And I'm happy to answer further questions, and I want to thank you so much.